and deadly. Flights grounded, crops ruined, millions of people without food, electricity, or clean water. A full-scale Yellowstone eruption could eject over 1,000 cubic kilometers of volcanic material into the atmosphere. That's enough to bury entire cities under meters of ash. Winds would carry this ash across the United States, affecting everything from transportation and agriculture to water supplies and human health. The economic impact would be in the trillions. But the environmental impact could be worse. Sunlight would be blocked by volcanic particles, potentially causing a volcanic winter, a dramatic drop in global temperatures. Growing seasons would shrink, famine could follow. And yet, despite this terrifying potential, Yellowstone remains a popular vacation spot. Visitors take selfies above what could be one of the planet's most dangerous ticking time bombs. The science behind the threat: beneath Yellowstone lies a magma chamber roughly 40 miles wide and 10 miles deep. Above that is a caldera, a vast crater formed by the collapse of land after a previous eruption. Scientists from the U.S. Geological Survey (USGS) closely monitor this area. They track seismic activity, gas emissions, ground deformation, and temperature changes. Dozens of small earthquakes happen every year at Yellowstone, which is normal. But sudden spikes in activity could indicate movement of magma closer to the surface. In 2003, parts of Yellowstone Lake rose several inches. In 2014, scientists discovered that the magma chamber was even larger than previously thought. These are not signs of immediate eruption, but they are reminders that Yellowstone is very much alive. Modern monitoring has given scientists some confidence that we'd have weeks or months of warning before an eruption. But nature does not always give us advance notice, and there is no technology on Earth that can stop a supervolcano from erupting. Other danger zones in the U.S. While Yellowstone is the most talked about geological threat, beauty that hides danger. There are places in the United States that seem like paradise on Earth. Towering mountains, crystal-clear lakes, steaming geysers, and vast stretches of untouched wilderness. Millions of tourists flock to them every year for peace, wonder, and adventure. But beneath one of America's most beautiful locations lies something few truly understand. A sleeping giant. A geological monster. A threat not only to the United States but potentially to the world. This place is Yellowstone National Park. But this is not just a story about Yellowstone. It is about the fragile and often invisible line between safety and disaster in America. Because across the country, geography has carved out zones of beauty and danger, sometimes in the very same spot. In this documentary, we explore the most dangerous place in America, not by crime, politics, or war, but by geography. What lies beneath the ground, what shifts in the crust, and what could one day bring parts of the nation to a halt. The beast beneath Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park is located primarily in Wyoming but also stretches into Montana and Idaho. It is world famous for its wildlife and geothermal features, especially Old Faithful Geyser. But underneath all of that is one of the most powerful volcanic systems on Earth. Yellowstone is not just a volcano, it is a supervolcano. What makes a volcano super is not just its size but its capacity to unleash devastation. Supervolcanoes are capable of eruptions that are thousands of times more powerful than regular volcanoes. They can alter global temperatures, devastate entire regions, and cause mass extinctions. The Yellowstone supervolcano has erupted 3 times in the past 2.1 million years. Each eruption blanketed much of North America in volcanic ash. Scientists believe that if it were to erupt again, the consequences would be catastrophic. What a super eruption would look like: imagine the sky turning black in midday. It is far from the only one. San Andreas Fault, California. The infamous San Andreas Fault runs roughly 800 miles through California. It is a transform fault where the Pacific and North American plates slide past each other. This movement causes massive earthquakes. Scientists warn of the big one, a future earthquake that could devastate Los Angeles or San Francisco. New Madrid seismic zone, central U.S. Often overlooked, this fault zone in the central U.S. produced some of the most powerful earthquakes in American history in 1811 to 1812. If it ruptured today, cities like Memphis, St. Louis, and Little Rock could be severely affected. Mount Rainier, Washington, a snow-covered volcano near Seattle. Mount Rainier is considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world due to its massive glaciers. An eruption could trigger deadly lahars, volcanic mudflows capable of wiping out entire towns downstream. Cascadia Subduction Zone, Pacific Northwest. This fault runs from Northern California to British Columbia. It can produce massive megathrust earthquakes and tsunamis. Scientists believe a full rupture could be as powerful as the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake. Tsunami threats Atlantic coast. A landslide in the Canary Islands or a major earthquake in the Atlantic could generate a tsunami that strikes the east coast of the US within hours. While rare, the risk is not zero. How geography shapes risk. Geography is not just about maps. It defines where we live, what we grow, how we travel, and what we fear. In the US, geography has created zones of vulnerability. Earthquakes in the west, hurricanes in the southeast, tornadoes in the Great Plains, blizzards in the north, wildfires in the west. But geography also hides threats. A peaceful river may one day flood a city. A dormant mountain may erupt after centuries of silence. A quiet fault may suddenly awaken. Despite modern engineering, we often build cities in the shadow of geological hazards. Why? Because those places offer water, fertile land, beautiful views, or access to trade. And we tend to forget the disasters of the past. If Yellowstone erupted tomorrow, let's imagine a worst-case scenario. Yellowstone erupts without warning. A mushroom cloud of ash and gas rises into the stratosphere. Shock waves rattle the region. Airports shut down across the US. Eastward winds carry ash across the Midwest and to the East Coast. Within days, ashfall disrupts air quality, clogs engines, contaminates water, and halts ground transportation. Hospitals overflow. Food becomes scarce. Global trade slows. Satellite signals are interrupted. In a few weeks, temperatures drop. The sky dims. Agriculture suffers. Crops fail across multiple continents. Famine and economic depression follow. This may sound like science fiction, but it is a scenario studied seriously by geologists, climatologists, and defense agencies. Disaster preparedness, are we ready? The truth is, no nation is fully prepared for a Yellowstone-scale event. Emergency management agencies have plans for earthquakes, wildfires, and hurricanes, but supervolcanoes are rare, global impact disasters. The US has emergency stockpiles, FEMA protocols, and communication strategies. NASA and USGS work on disaster modeling, but evacuation of millions would be nearly impossible. Long-term food and water shortages would be likely, and misinformation during crisis events can make things worse. Preparedness must go beyond government. Citizens, communities, and even global partners must recognize the risks and contribute to solutions. Conclusion: the silent countdown. The most dangerous place in America is quiet. It is beautiful. It is a place where people go to reconnect with nature. But it is also a place that holds one of the greatest geological threats in the modern world. Yellowstone may not erupt tomorrow. It may not erupt in our lifetimes. But the forces beneath it are real, and one day they will rise again. The question is not if, the question is when. Until then, we must balance wonder with wisdom, respect the power of the earth, and never forget that sometimes the most beautiful places on the map are also the most dangerous. Subscribe to USA Geography for more deep dive documentaries on Earth's hidden dangers, lost history, and untold truths.